Disney finally did something decent, guys. Right? For the first time, it seems like in a long time, at least 100 years, most likely. Either way, this is a suggestion via a channel member. Let's go ahead and jump to the video immediately.
Disney and the ABC network are taking Jimmy Kimmel Live off the air indefinitely. This
Let's get the
follows a
story.
controversy over comments the late-night comedian made Monday night about Charlie Kirk's
Did he make him on the show?
killer and the MAGA movement and their reaction to the assassination. Let's get straight to CNN's chief media affairs correspondent, Brian Stelter. Brian,
let's do it.
What is going on?
That's right. This is fast developing this afternoon, Jake, amid pressure from the Trump-aligned FCC. And in the past few minutes, ABC confirmed to CNN that Kimmel's show will be off the air, quote, indefinitely. We have not yet heard from Kimmel or his representatives.
FCC.
That's how quickly this has been developing.
Okay.
But let's back up and look at what Kimmel actually said on the program that has caused controversy. This is from Monday night in his Monday evening monologue. Kimmel suggested that the alleged killer of Charlie Kirk might have been a pro-Trump Republican. He said, quote,
yeah, guys, that's what the left has been pushing and promoting. Then come to find out that he is in fact not, guys, right? He's not a part of that. He's not a part of anything right-leaning or right-oriented. Every single aspect about his life in existence, it seems to exclusively exude leftisms, let's say, liberalism. But the left is in fact trying to push that. The right has something to do with it, guys. No, it's your messaging, right? ABC, Disney, CNN, this network specifically, right? MSNBC, all these networks have been saying that one side of the country is absolutely evil. Let's go get them. All right, that's what you guys have been saying. Don't be surprised. How are you surprised this happened?
MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. He said in between the finger pointing, there was grieving. Kimmel was expressing what we've heard some other liberals say in recent days, that the motives are unclear and that maybe the suspect
but the information is out now.
was a Republican or was some sort of far-right fringe figure. Of course, there has been a lot of discussion about that in recent days. There's a lot of evidence pointing in other directions about the suspect. But Kimmel was on the air talking about this, making a very serious commentary amid his jokes in his monologue Monday night. Here's where it became interesting earlier today. The FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, went on a far-right webcast and condemned Kimmel and urged ABC to suspend him. He also talked about possible regulatory punishments of Disney because there are lots of different stations that have licenses with the FCC. Within the past hour, we've heard from a big owner of stations that have affiliations with ABC, a company called Nexstar, saying that they were going to suspend Kimmel's show on their station. So in other words, about 24 stations were refusing to air Kimmel's show tonight as a result of this controversy. And then following word that some of those stations were basically revolting against Kimmel, Disney, the parent company of ABC, decided to yank the show entirely. So that's all we know at the moment. We know that Kimmel will not be on the air tonight or for the foreseeable future because the network says the show has been yanked off the air indefinitely.
Brian, just to take one issue.
Yeah, guys, we definitely need to kind of start looking at the people that are actually in elected positions, because a lot of these individuals are kind of doing the same thing. Listen, guys, you do not have to, under any circumstance, like what someone is saying. The First Amendment exists for that specific thing. Understand this here. You do not have any right to walk up to someone or absolutely take the life of someone exclusively here, right? Because you do not like his speech, all right? If you want to take office again, Democrats, okay, you're going to have to understand that just because someone doesn't have the same exact ideology than you, it doesn't mean they deserve to basically, no longer exist on this planet, let's say, all right? And that's the truth of the matter. I do not think that the Democrats currently, the modern left, has any ability to kind of see the forest through the trees, guys. They keep promoting the most un-American type of sentiments. This man lost his life because of his mouth. Do you understand this here?
Your interpretation of what Kimmel said, I think, is the one that Brendan Carr had and the one that the individuals at Nexstar have. But what he said specifically was, quote, the MAGA gang is desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. That can be read in several ways. That could be heard in several ways. It could also be it could also be argued he's saying that what the MAGA gang is doing is just trying to make sure that they don't have any ownership of it, not necessarily that this killer, this horrible person, was part of them. I mean,
I think you're making a very important point.
Yeah,
You're making a very important point. And
two things can be true at the same time, guys.
Let's take it a little bit step further. This was all on Monday night. Nobody seemed to notice this yesterday, Jake. This all erupted in the past few hours when the Trump-aligned FCC chairman decided to point at it. Now, I've heard from him in the past few minutes, Brendan Carr, thanking Nexstar for doing the right thing by yanking the show. He has not yet commented on ABC yanking the show altogether across the entire country. But let's remember that when Stephen Colbert's show was canceled over the summer, what did President Trump say? He said, next up will be an even less talented Jimmy Kimmel. It is clear that pro-Trump allies have been trying to target ABC over Kimmel for several weeks now.
Listen, guys, understand this. Who is pushing the nonsense movement that is causing havoc in the United States of America? Okay. You do know that ABC basically hosts a good amount of those shows that basically consistently promote, absolute mayhem in the United States of America. All right. They tend to be very un-American. These people are not saying what I believe internally, so they're evil, they're wrong, they don't deserve to breathe, these type of things, the View guys, right? And so does it surprise me that Jimmy Kimmel was up next, guys? No. And the fact that Trump said it a long time ago, Jimmy Kimmel should have fully understood that maybe you shouldn't poke the bear in the context of this here, because guys, listen, if there is the ability to kind of get someone off of the air that is in fact promoting straight crazy leftism, let's say, right, then get him off the air, right? Specifically. I do not think that, but here's the thing here, guys. I do not think specifically what he said was that crazy, right? On a personal level, right? I do not think that what he said was that crazy, but it was still enough to be you're kind of adding to the lie that's being spread. You're trying to say that the person who did this was excessively right-leaning, but the information that we have from him is the exact opposite, guys. We do have the message. The text messages do exist. We do know what was said, right? We do know that he texted his boyfriend all this information here. We have all of the information at hand here, right? You're saying one thing, but it's the exact opposite. Charlie Kirk was a conservative. The guy who ended his existence was not. All right, he had a problem with the concept of conservatives. So what are you talking about, Jimmy Kimmel? It's ridiculous, and this is the lie that the left is currently pushing large scale.
And tonight they've prevailed.
Yeah, Brian Stelter, thanks so much for that breaking news. Let's go right to the panel. And let me first start by showing, I wondered what was going on earlier today when I saw this pop up on Twitter. This is the FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, on a far-right podcast.
Far right means not left.
Talking about what Kimmel's comments were. Let's roll that tape.
When you look at the conduct that has taken place by
is that Betty?
Jimmy Kimmel, it appears to be some of the sickest conduct possible. Obviously, look, there's calls for Kimmel to be fired. I think you could certainly see a path forward for suspension over this. And again, the FCC is going to have remedies that we could look at.
Yeah, guys, I didn't know Benny was considered far right. I mean, so again, I was right then, right? So anyone who is not California liberal is considered far right in the eyes of CNN. Got it.
Are you comfortable with the FCC playing this role?
I don't think this is a legal issue. I don't think this can be pointed to the FCC or the Trump administration and say, well, this is about them going after Kimmel because of what he said.
It kind of looks like
I think it's more of a cultural issue. And I got to tell you, look, I'm about as moderate a Republican as you're going to get. I'm from New York.
Yeah, exactly. I'm from New York also. I get it. I smelt it on him, guys. It makes all the sense in the world. Let's continue.
Cultural issue. And I got to tell you, look, I'm about as moderate a Republican as you're going to get. I'm from New York.
Right.
I have not been comfortable watching late night television for 15 years.
For years,
because when you have conservative leanings and you're constantly mocked and you constantly feel like you're doing something wrong, you shut it off. You don't watch it anymore. And then what happens is it's circular. If the host doesn't have that audience, the host doesn't worry about keeping an audience like that. It goes in circles, and at some point,
echo chambers.
You get things like this where you say things, and that wasn't the full quote. The further quote was that he mocked President Trump for flying the flags at half-staff in remembrance of Charlie Kirk, and said it's like grieving of a 4-year-old, as a 4-year-old grieves for a goldfish.
No,
that was the full quote there.
Well, the full quote was, I think he ran.
Oh, but of course CNN doesn't want to post that, guys. I'm done. Listen, this is such an interesting thing to encounter here. Now, let's kind of put a pin on all of what we just encountered here. Jimmy Kimmel is intriguing. A lot of the late night shows, in fact, I agree, they're not worth watching at all unless you specifically have like California liberal kind of a mind like that, where you care more about the feelings of how things make you feel rather than the logic or the economics of certain programs and things like that. If you don't care about any of those things, then it makes all the sense in the world why you'd probably love the concept of like late night TV in 2025 or 2021 or 2019 or 28. You get what I'm saying here, guys? It's been terrible for a long time. They have completely pushed out any type of logical thinking minds, it seems, right? And traded them for the emotional, right? Exclusively emotional. They were fine with it, right? Absolutely fine with it. Now, the fact that he kept mentioning the Trump-backed FCC, just say the people that are in the FCC specifically are making an attempt to make sure that things are not absolutely egregious. It's interesting that CNN decided specifically to leave out the rest of it. I'm glad this guy right here kind of pointed out the rest of it, because the rest of it was probably what happened, more so than the other half. Truth be told here, guys, all right? But of course, this is CNN. You have to take it with a grain of salt, specifically if you are a logical-minded individual here, guys, truth be told. But all right, listen, if you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.